I stood in the living room of my Scottsdale home, watching my son Marcus fumble with his keys at the front door. Through the window, I could see his wife Vanessa unloading boxes from their Mercedes SUV. They thought the house was empty. They thought I was still in Costa Rica, sipping cocktails on some beach resort for another 3 weeks. About the reverse mortgage, I said calmly as Marcus finally got the door open. About the POA you used. About all of it. I think we need to talk, son. The box in his hands hit the floor. Let me back up 6 months. That's when this whole thing started, though I didn't know it then. My name is Robert Hayes. I'm 72 years old, and for the past 8 years, I've lived alone in the house my late wife Catherine and I built together in Scottsdale. We bought the land back in '89, when this part of Arizona was still affordable, before the tech boom brought everyone from California. Catherine was an architect. She designed every corner of this place, the courtyard with the fountain, the library with floor-to-ceiling windows facing the McDowell Mountains, the workshop where I still spend my mornings building furniture. She died of ovarian cancer in 2016, stage 4. By the time they found it, there was nothing anyone could do. I held her hand in our bedroom, in the house she built, and watched her slip away on a Tuesday morning in October. After she was gone, people kept asking if I was going to sell. Too many memories, they'd say. Too much house for one person. But those memories were exactly why I stayed. Every morning, I'd make coffee in the kitchen where Catherine taught our kids to bake. Every evening, I'd watch the sunset from the patio where we celebrated 30 anniversaries. The house wasn't just property. It was the last place I could still feel her. I have 2 children. Rebecca, my daughter, is 45. She's a corporate attorney in Chicago, sharp as a tack, inherited her mother's no-nonsense attitude. Then there's Marcus. He's 41, my youngest. Always been a dreamer, that one. Always chasing the next big thing. For years, Marcus worked in finance. Something with derivatives I never fully understood. He did well enough, married Vanessa, bought a house in Paradise Valley. They had 2 kids, my grandchildren, Tyler and Emma. Then, 3 years ago, Marcus quit his job to start a cryptocurrency trading platform. He was convinced it would make him a fortune. It didn't. By early 2024, I started noticing things. Marcus would call more often, always with some excuse to talk about money. Just curious, Dad, what do you think the house is worth these days? Or, have you thought about what you'll do if you need assisted living someday? I'd brush it off. He was my son. I figured he was just worried about his old man. Then in March, Rebecca called me from Chicago. Dad, Marcus asked me about your estate plan. Said he's concerned about your finances. Is everything okay? Everything's fine, I told her. I've got the pension from teaching, Social Security, and your mom's life insurance money invested. I'm comfortable. That's what I thought, Rebecca said. There was a pause. Just be careful, okay? Marcus mentioned to Jennifer at Christmas that his platform lost a lot of investor money. Jennifer was Marcus's sister-in-law, Vanessa's younger sister. Apparently, family gatherings had become tense. Vanessa's father had invested $200,000 in Marcus's company. It was gone. I should have paid more attention then. But this was my son, my boy. The kid I taught to ride a bike, who fell asleep on my shoulder during Disney movies, who called me first when he got accepted to ASU. You don't want to believe your own child would hurt you. In late May, Marcus showed up at my house unannounced. He looked tired, older somehow. We sat in the courtyard, and he told me about the platform collapse. Investors were threatening lawsuits. He owed $230,000, due by September, or they'd take legal action. I'm sorry to dump this on you, Dad, he said. I just needed someone to talk to. It'll work out, I told him. You're smart. You'll figure something out. He nodded, staring at the fountain. You know, you should take a vacation. When's the last time you went somewhere? The suggestion seemed to come out of nowhere. I don't know. Your mother and I went to France in 2014. That was 10 years ago, Dad. You're 72. You should enjoy yourself. He pulled out his phone. Actually, Vanessa was just telling me about this amazing resort in Costa Rica. All-inclusive. Beach, spa, excursions. What if I booked you something? My treat. Call it a late birthday present. I tried to object, but Marcus insisted. He was so enthusiastic, more animated than I'd seen him in months. Looking back, I should have questioned why a man drowning in debt wanted to spend money on a luxury vacation for his father. But I was thinking like a dad, not like a Mark. I thought maybe he needed to do something good, to feel like he wasn't failing at everything. 2 weeks later, Marcus presented me with a full itinerary. 3 months in Costa Rica, July through September. An ocean view villa at an all-inclusive resort near Manuel Antonio. Tours, activities, everything paid for. 3 months? I said. That's a long time. You've got nothing but time, Dad. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Before I left, there was one piece of business to handle. Marcus came by with some papers from his attorney. It's just an update to your power of attorney, he explained. The one you and Mom set up is outdated. This gives Rebecca and me the ability to handle things if something happens to you while you're abroad. Medical decisions, financial stuff, just a precaution. I should have read it more carefully. I should have had my own lawyer review it. But Rebecca's name was on it too, and I trusted my children. I signed it at my kitchen table while Marcus watched. A notary he brought witnessed my signature. Thanks, Dad, Marcus said, folding the papers. This gives me peace of mind, knowing you're protected. I left for Costa Rica on July 8th. The resort was beautiful white sand beaches, tropical gardens, howler monkeys in the trees at dawn. I spent my days reading, swimming, trying to relax. But something felt off. I couldn't shake the feeling that Marcus had been too eager to get me out of the house. 3 weeks into the trip, I met a man named Harold at the resort bar. He was 76, from Denver, traveling alone after his wife passed. We started having dinner together, swapping stories. One evening, he told me about his daughter. She tried to get me to refinance my house last year, Harold said. Came at me with all this talk about freeing up equity and tax advantages. My neighbor, who used to work at a bank, told me to get a second opinion. Turned out my daughter wanted me to take out $300,000 so her husband could start a brewery. Would have put my house at risk at my age. The words hit me like cold water. I excused myself and went back to my villa. I tried calling Marcus. No answer. I called again an hour later. Voicemail. I sent a text. Need to talk. Call me. Nothing. I called Rebecca. She answered on the second ring. Hey, Dad, how's paradise? Have you talked to your brother lately? Not since last month. Why? Do me a favor. Drive by my house tomorrow. Just check on it. Dad, what's going on? Probably nothing. Just humor your paranoid father. Rebecca called me back the next afternoon. Arizona time, so evening my time. Her voice was tight. Dad, there's a lockbox on your front door, the kind realtors use. My stomach dropped. What? And there was a woman taking pictures of the house. I asked what she was doing. She said she's a real estate photographer, hired by the homeowner to prepare listing photos. I couldn't breathe. Rebecca, I already called my contact at the county recorder's office. She cut in. Dad, there's a reverse mortgage on the house, filed June 30th, $230,000. Your signature is on the application. June 30th. 1 week before I left for Costa Rica, I didn't sign anything, I said. I know. I'm looking at it now. She sent me a PDF. That's not your signature. It's close, but it's not yours. Rebecca's voice cracked. Dad, Marcus forged your signature? He used the POA to claim you were mentally incompetent and unable to sign. Then he signed as your attorney, in fact. He took out a reverse mortgage on your house. The room spun. To pay his investors. What? I told her everything. The cryptocurrency collapse. The debt. Marcus showing up with papers right before my trip. That son of a bitch, Rebecca said. Dad, listen to me. Don't tell Marcus you know. Don't call him. Act like everything's normal. I'm going to my office right now to start building a case. Criminal fraud. Elder abuse. Forgery. I'm going to bury him. Rebecca. He's my brother, and I love him. But he stole your house, Dad. Your house. The one Mom built. I'm not letting this go. I sat in that villa room for hours, watching the sun set over the Pacific, thinking about Marcus as a little boy. Marcus learning to swim in our pool. Marcus crying in my arms when his first girlfriend broke his heart. Marcus standing up at Catherine's funeral, barely holding it together as he talked about his mother. How does that boy become a man who steals from his own father? I couldn't sleep that night, or the next. Rebecca called every day with updates. The reverse mortgage company had already dispersed the funds to Marcus. He'd paid off the investors within 48 hours of getting the money. The house had been listed with a realtor the week before she'd pulled the listing when Rebecca threatened legal action, but it had been up for 4 days, priced at $850,000 for a quick sale. He was going to sell it out from under you, Rebecca said. The reverse mortgage doesn't require monthly payments as long as you live in the house, but if the house is sold, the loan comes due immediately. He'd pocket about $600,000 after paying off the mortgage. You'd have nothing. Where did he think I'd live when I got back? That's the thing, Dad. I found emails on a laptop I obtained from Marcus's home office. He was researching senior living facilities, cheap ones. He was going to tell you the house was too much maintenance, that you'd be happier in a small apartment. He'd already picked one out, 400 square feet, assisted living complex in Tempe, $900 a month. My son had planned my entire future without asking me. He'd decided I didn't need the house anymore, decided he needed the money more than I needed my home. Rebecca wanted me to come home immediately and have Marcus arrested at the airport. I said no, I had a different idea. I stayed in Costa Rica the full 3 months, just like Marcus expected. I sent him cheerful texts about ziplining and snorkeling. I posted photos on Facebook. Harold helped me take them. I played the part of the happy, oblivious father. Meanwhile, Rebecca worked. She got a forensic document examiner to analyze the signatures. She obtained bank records showing the money trail. She filed a police report for fraud and forgery. She filed an emergency motion to void the reverse mortgage based on fraud. She gathered everything, built an airtight case, but didn't file the criminal charges yet. We were setting a trap. I also called my neighbor, Tom Patterson. Tom and his wife Diane had lived next door for 18 years. Tom was a retired police detective. I told him everything. I'll keep an eye on things, Tom said. Rebecca gave me a key. I'll make sure nobody touches anything in your house until you're back. I flew home on October 4th, 3 days earlier than my scheduled return. Rebecca picked me up at the airport. We didn't go to my house. We went to her hotel room near Scottsdale Quarter. Marcus doesn't know you're back, she said. He thinks you land Sunday. But I did some digging. He and Vanessa reserved a U-Haul for tomorrow, Saturday. They're planning to move into your house this weekend, stage it with their furniture to make it show better for potential buyers. How do you know? Jennifer told me. Vanessa's been bragging to her family about the amazing deal they're getting on a house in Scottsdale. She doesn't know Marcus stole it. She thinks you agreed to sell it to them cheap. That's when I understood. Vanessa had no idea. Marcus had lied to everyone, his wife, his kids, probably even his therapist if he had one. He'd constructed an entire false reality where I was a willing participant in my own dispossession. Rebecca and I spent Friday night going over the plan. Saturday morning, we drove to my house. Tom was waiting in his driveway. I used my key. Marcus had never changed the locks, because legally, he couldn't. I was still the homeowner. The reverse mortgage didn't transfer ownership, just created a lien. The house was exactly as I'd left it in July, except for one thing. All of Catherine's photos were gone from the mantel. The wedding photo, the pictures of the kids, the portrait of Catherine in the garden she loved. Marcus had packed them away, erasing her from her own home. I found the boxes in the garage, carefully packed, labeled in Marcus's handwriting. Personal items, storage. He'd planned to store his mother's memory like Christmas decorations. I brought the photos back inside, put them where they belonged. Then I sat in the living room and waited. At 10:47 a.m., I heard the U-Haul pull into the driveway. Through the window, I watched Marcus get out, looking pleased with himself. Vanessa emerged from the passenger side, talking on her phone. In the back seat, I could see Tyler and Emma, my grandkids, playing on tablets. Marcus walked up to the door. I heard his keys jingle. The door opened. About the reverse mortgage, I said. About the POA you used. About all of it. I think we need to talk, son. The box hit the floor. Inside, I could see picture frames, photos of Marcus's family. He was already moving in. Dad, his face went white. You're not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be here? I stood up. In my own house? Vanessa appeared in the doorway. Robert, you're back early, Marcus said. She stopped, looking between us. What's going on? Your husband took out a $230,000 reverse mortgage on my house without my knowledge or consent, I said calmly. He forged documents claiming I was incompetent. He used the money to pay off his investors. Then he tried to sell my house while I was out of the country. Vanessa's phone slipped from her hand. What? That's not Dad. You don't understand, Marcus started. I understand perfectly. I pulled out my phone and showed him the screen. Rebecca had sent me the forensic report. That's your signature on the POA authorization where you declared me mentally unfit to make financial decisions. That's your handwriting on the reverse mortgage application where you forged my signature. That's your bank account where the money was deposited on July 1st. Marcus's face crumbled. I was going to pay you back. The investors were going to sue me. I could have gone to prison. I just needed time. So you stole from your father instead. Rebecca's voice came from behind them. She'd been waiting in her car. She walked up the driveway, her heels clicking on the pavement. Hi, Marcus. Vanessa. Rebecca, please. Marcus turned to his sister. You have to understand. I didn't have a choice. You had a choice, Rebecca said. You chose to commit fraud. You chose to forge documents. You chose to violate your fiduciary duty as Dad's power of attorney. You chose to steal his house. She handed him a folder. That's a copy of everything I'm filing Monday morning. Criminal fraud, forgery, financial elder abuse, breach of fiduciary duty. The county prosecutor is very interested. Vanessa was crying. Marcus, tell me this isn't true. Tell me you didn't steal from your father. Marcus said nothing. Oh my God. Vanessa backed away from him. I thought he agreed to sell. You said he wanted to downsize, that he was okay with it. He would have been okay with it eventually, Marcus said quietly. He's alone in this big house. He doesn't need all this space. I thought. You thought you'd make that decision for him? I said. You thought you knew better than me what I needed? This house is worth almost $1 million. You're sitting on all this money while I'm drowning. I'm your son. Doesn't that mean anything? The words hung in the air. In the driveway, I could see Tyler and Emma watching through the U-Haul window, confused. Being my son means something, I said softly. It means I gave you everything. I paid for your education. I helped with the down payment on your first house. I was there for you every time you needed me. But it doesn't mean you get to steal my home. Tom Patterson appeared on his front porch. He'd been listening, making sure things didn't escalate. Behind him, Diane was on her phone. Later, I learned she was calling Jennifer, Vanessa's sister. Word spreads fast in neighborhoods like ours. I'm leaving, Vanessa said. Kids, get out of the truck. We're going to Grandma's. Vanessa, wait, Marcus reached for her. She jerked away. Don't touch me. I can't even look at you right now. She got the kids from the U-Haul. Emma was crying, sensing something was wrong. Tyler, older at 13, looked angry. They'd heard enough to understand their father had done something bad. After they left, it was just me, Marcus, and Rebecca in the living room. Here's what's going to happen, Rebecca said. You have two options. Option 1, I file criminal charges Monday. You're arrested, prosecuted, and probably convicted. You'll serve time for elder abuse and fraud. Your kids will visit you in prison. Option 2, you reverse the mortgage immediately. You pay back every penny of the $230,000, plus Dad's legal fees, plus interest. You sign a confession, admitting what you did. That confession stays in my safe. If you ever contact Dad again without his explicit permission, if you ever come near this property, if you so much as think about pulling something like this again, that confession goes to the police. I don't have $230,000, Marcus whispered. Then sell your house, Rebecca said. Liquidate your retirement accounts. Take out loans. I don't care how you do it. You have 90 days. My house is worth maybe $450. After the mortgage, that's 200 grand, max. I don't have the rest. Not my problem, Rebecca said. You found a way to steal it. Find a way to pay it back. Marcus looked at me, really looked at me for the first time since I'd confronted him. Dad, please, I'm sorry. I was desperate. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to call on my birthday, I said. This was a choice. You chose to betray me. You chose to forge my name. You chose to plan out this entire scheme over months. You weren't sorry until you got caught. I'm still your son. Yes, I said. You are. And that's the only reason you're not being arrested right now. We gave him a week to get out of his house. He sold it in 5 days, took a cash offer from an investor for $400,000. After paying off his mortgage, he had $206,000. He emptied his $401k, another $30,000 after penalties. He borrowed $10,000 from a former business partner. He sold both cars, his wife's jewelry, everything of value. On day 87, he wired $230,000 to my account. On day 89, he brought me a check for $23,000, my legal fees plus interest. On day 90, he signed the confession in Rebecca's office. I haven't spoken to him since. Vanessa filed for divorce 6 weeks after she found out. She got primary custody of the kids. Marcus moved into a 1-bedroom apartment in Tempe, not far from the facility he'd picked out for me. He got a job as a financial analyst at a firm that didn't do a thorough background check. He lives alone, drives a used Honda, and according to Jennifer, spends his weekends in a studio apartment with beige walls and no photos on display. Tyler came to see me at Christmas. He's 14 now. We sat in the library, and he asked me why I turned in his dad. I didn't turn him in, I said. I gave him a choice. He's the one who chose to steal from me first. But he's your son. And this is my home. The one your grandmother designed. The one she died in. Your father tried to take that from me so he could fix his own mistakes. Would you want me to just let that go? Tyler thought about it. No, he said finally. I guess not. Your father isn't a bad person, I told him. But he did a very bad thing. And actions have consequences. Emma won't talk to me. She's 11. In her mind, Grandpa made Daddy lose everything. Vanessa says she's in therapy, working through it. Maybe someday she'll understand. Maybe she won't. That's a consequence I have to live with. Rebecca has been incredible through all of this. She stayed in Scottsdale for a month after it happened, making sure I was okay. We've always been close, but this brought us even closer. She's the one who insisted I see a therapist, who sat with me on the nights I couldn't stop crying about losing my son. You didn't lose him, she said. He lost you. There's a difference. Tom and Diane still live next door. Tom still keeps an eye on things. Last month, he mentioned he'd seen Marcus drive by slowly twice. Just looking, Tom said. Didn't stop. But I logged it, just in case. Just in case. As if my own son is now a security threat. I updated my estate plan. Everything goes to Rebecca, with trust funds for Tyler and Emma that Marcus can't touch. I changed my POA to a professional fiduciary service, no family members involved. I installed security cameras. I sleep with my phone on the nightstand, Tom's number on speed dial. This is what my son's betrayal bought me. Safety measures in my own home. But I'm still here. Still in the house Catherine built. Still watching the sun set over the McDowell Mountains from our patio. Still working in the shop, building furniture for friends and neighbors. Still alive. Still independent. Still on my own terms. A few months ago, I got a letter from Marcus. Rebecca advised me not to open it. I did anyway. It was 3 pages long, handwritten. He said he was sorry. He said he'd been in therapy, working on himself. He said he understood why I did what I did, and he didn't blame me. He said he hoped that someday, maybe when enough time had passed, we could talk. He said he missed me. I read that letter a dozen times. Then I put it in a box in my closet with Catherine's old letters. I don't know if I'll ever respond. Because here's the thing Marcus never understood. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't even about the house. Not really. It was about trust. It was about him looking at his 72-year-old father and seeing not a person, but an asset to be liquidated. It was about him deciding I didn't deserve to make my own choices, about my own life. He took out that reverse mortgage on June 30th. My birthday is July 1st. He stole my house on my 72nd birthday. I don't know if I can forgive that. I don't know if I should. What I do know is this: I survived. I'm still in my home, in the house that holds every memory of the woman I loved and the life we built. I wake up every morning in the bedroom where Catherine died, and I make coffee in the kitchen where she taught our children to bake, and I watch the sunrise from the patio where we celebrated 30 anniversaries. Marcus thought he could take that from me. He thought wrong. Sometimes Rebecca asks if I regret how it all went down, if I wish I'd handled it differently, been less harsh, given Marcus more grace. I tell her the truth. I regret that it happened at all. I regret that my son became someone capable of this. I regret that my grandchildren have a fractured family and a father struggling to rebuild his life from nothing. But I don't regret protecting myself. I don't regret standing up for my right to live in my own home, on my own terms, for as long as I'm able. Marcus made his choice. I made mine, and I'm still here.